My mom told me not to talk to strangers on the internet, but I'm glad I didn't listen. We are the certified Nunas, your sisters in the love of Asian entertainment.
Hi, I'm Amanda.
I'm Jessie.
I'm Natalia.
And I'm Sky.
So this week, what's everyone watching this week?
See, what am I watching? I'm watching Accidentally in Love. It's a Chinese drama. It's adorable. So, just so cute. The female lead's adorable and, does what she wants to do and, doesn't get pushed around. She's delightful. Still watching Last Empress. I wasn't, so I'm catching up on that. So, binged a lot of that this past week. I started that Best Chicken this week, and I quite like it. It's cute, but it has that ever elusive unicorn male lead who is super nice. He's just the super, super nice guy who's the eternal optimist and friendly and kind and
Which makes you wonder if she'll really end up with him because he's so nice.
I think though, see, the thing is she's horrible.
Okay.
Broken and
wanted them to be bad
and stuff. And it's by the end of the second episode, you see that his optimism is starting to rub off on her. It's starting to help her to see have hope or have, okay, I'm in a bad place, but maybe I shouldn't drag this guy down with me. Just
sort of like my Unexpected Boyfriend. That one. Am I the only one who's seen that? Never mind then. Similar, the female lead was awful and the male lead was just sweet and kind and naive and innocent.
So I'm hopeful for this one. It looks cute. It's got found family going on and
nice.
Yeah, it looks good. So I want to start that Poon Sang one. I think it's What's Wrong with Poon Sang or something. Live or Die.
I watched the first episode of that one.
So I like adult siblings, so I'm kind of hopeful.
Then you'll probably like it. It was okay. It wasn't something that I might not continue, but it wasn't because it was bad or anything. Just didn't catch my eye.
Well, I've been rewatching Healer mostly because I've been in a bit of a drama funk since the beginning of 2019. Actually, just a general bad luck life funk since the beginning of 2019. So I've been watching that because it's sometimes nice to rewatch something that you'll enjoy no matter what. And then I've also been still watching Alhambra. Fewer and fewer of us every week, but I am sticking with it. I'm going to be honest, the show's getting a lot of hate and I get the criticisms and I can criticize it as well. Her character is very weak, just as writing and interest wise. However, the show has enough in it that I'm, I still want to see where this goes. Where's the brother? Where has he been hiding? Is he stuck in the game somewhere? Anyway, so I'm really enjoying that. And I've been attempting to watch Clean with Passion for now, but it keeps getting preempted by holidays and
sports and
stupid sports. Who cares about sports? I want and the worst part is the last episode that they had, I'm not going to spoil too much, but it ended on a real spicy cliffhanger.
And it was mid-scene.
Yeah, and I'm oh gosh, and I was it's going to next week, and then it was it'll come back. I'm okay, it's New Year's, maybe it'll come back the week after, and the week after it's it's going to come back next week. I'm you're killing me, Smalls. You're killing me.
And I think there's only a handful of episodes left. So I mean, it's really built up.
It's episode I think it's episode 11 coming up or something, and I'm you're killing me.
Out of 16, so it's
killing me. I need to see more. It's anyway, I just really love him because I saw him on the actor on 3 Meals a Day with his cats. He's adorable. So other than that, not much variety shows,
I've also been in a funk, so I haven't been watching much. I'm still trying to catch up with Memories of Alhambra. It's been a slow going, but I still like it. I enjoy it still, but I'm very far behind too, so I don't know if I will still enjoy it. But I will say that I we're going to spill the beans. I like that the character was weak. The female character was weak from the very beginning, and she stayed that way. I cannot stand when it's a super strong female and then immediately becomes weak.
Yeah, as soon as a
That's
guy
been
enters.
refreshing and great. I'm not every female character has to be super fantastic because they're everybody I like various characters, so that's kind of why I'm still kind of liking the show too, because it's just so different that like she's kept with her character and they haven't betrayed that about her, so that's been really nice.
I just wish she'd stop crying every 20 seconds.
Yeah.
Like, get over it, girl.
Yeah.
Like,
Totally.
yeah. You're rich. Boo-hoo.
Yeah.
You have a rich go away. Like,
I'm also catching up and almost done with the Quiz from God reboot. It ended, so I'm trying to really push through because I don't want to spoil myself, because not that anybody is actually watching it that I know of, but like I've seen like clips and like various like Korean, networks or social medias, and I'm like, I don't want to spoil myself. But I really like the series, and I've really liked this season so far, so that's been nice. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I'm watching. I picked back up Pleasantly Surprised, which is a Taiwanese drama. It's also called Love Myself for You, I think, on Viki.
Okay.
But it's mostly
Aaron Yan?
No,
that's a different one. Sorry.
I like him.
I started it probably like November or something, sometime at the end of the last year, and then I slowly stopped watching it so I could power through my grand challenge that I had for myself. I picked it back up because I'm over halfway through the series, so that's it. Besides variety shows, I watch a lot of variety shows.
So I'm not going to mention all the ones that I'm holding on, because that's way many. Like, for instance, 100 Days My Prince. I keep trying to just finish that. I go so slow on it, though. So as far as what I'm actively watching, Memories of the Alhambra, which I do still like it. I mean, there's just problems with it. But I mean, I don't criticize it too heavily. I'm having fun with it. I have no clue what's going to happen, which I finally getting a show where you have no clue what's going to happen.
Yeah, that's
pretty nice.
That's pretty rare in the K-drama world that you don't really know how it's going to end.
I mean, there are aspects of the story that's like, of course, this part you can kind of guess. But then as far as like where narratively we're going, who knows? So I like that a lot. I'm also watching Top Star You Back, but it's been...
Yeah, I've had a hard time.
It's been lagging the past week or two as well as far as getting episodes out, so it makes me wonder if the holidays, I don't know, in sports or whatever. Which, that one is pretty weird, but I'm keeping with it anyway. It's funny. Clean with Passion for Now, which is super cute, and even all the supporting actors are really, really good. My Strange Hero, that I'm keeping up with. I really like it. It's funny, I have to kind of push myself to watch it because it's a revenge drama, which I'm not totally used to. I haven't watched that many of. I kind of get hesitant about if I'm ready to put myself through those parts of emotion, really. But it's not intense. It's really lightly done. I don't know why I keep not trusting it to be light. It's on the light side of that by far. But just because of the revenge aspects, which aren't, let's say it's maybe 20% of the drama each episode. It's really not even that much. But I kind of I don't know. I love it a lot. The actors are great. It's cute. I recommend it. All these things. But it's funny how I'm usually a day or two behind on it just because of that.
I found that in the summer I was watching that My Story for You Chinese one, and I loved it when I was watching it. But getting myself to start watching it again, it was like, and then as soon as I was watching it, I'd watch like 8 episodes because it was really good and I was really enjoying it. But like pressing play was not happening.
And it makes you question, like, okay, I do love it when I'm in it, but it's just funny. That hesitation's kind of different. I mean, and I've been in a funk too, and I know, and that's kind of the thing. So a lot of the other shows, for instance, I'm behind on Encounter. It's not that I'm afraid of that show necessarily by any means. But there's enough like kind of angsty stuff or people telling them what they can't do as adults. And it's like, not in the mood for that.
That gets a little frustrating where it's like, you're an adult, just do whatever you want.
Like, grumpy rich parents. Like, I'm just, I just haven't been in the mood for that aspect. Or I do want to catch up with Last Empress, but I have not been in the headspace for it. I have to be in a really silly headspace to be like really enjoying that show. I can't be in a kind of grumpy headspace because then I'll probably just get really angry. So yeah, and then I usually don't watch a ton of variety shows, but I tried to find an episode of Coffee Friends, which is a newer thing that came out, and I'm loving it. It's definitely not on any good site, easy to find type thing, so I can't recommend it too heavily, I guess. So I don't know if he was the second or third lead. I guess the second lead from Mr. Sunshine, which, he doesn't look anything like his character in real life, but whatever. And then the funny boss from Tyrius Behind Me, that actor. So like they're buddies, and they did a coffee truck for this past year. They do it once a month, I think, for charity. And then they had their buddies come by, like and Kwang Soo and like all these people. And so then I think they pretty much got approached by a producer, and they're like, hey, you want to run a cafe in Jeju Island for a month? And they're like, okay.
So why not?
Yeah. So then they what was interesting, it's in the middle of a tangerine orchard. It was a shed. The two guys went there with their interior design buddy, and the guy like renovates it to be this awesome, like put these huge windows in, so it's this really pretty thing. One of the guys is a like certified barista, the other loves to cook, and so they make awesome stuff. They called up an actress buddy, and then the guy from 30 but 17, that actor, and he's like their kitchen helper and stuff. So
sort
it's
of
really
like a Yoon's kitchen setup.
And it's all for charity. I just saw the first episode, and it's kind of long, but it's really chill and pretty, and they laugh a lot. So
yeah. I always call those types of variety shows like the zero stakes shows, or like negative stakes, where it's like there's literally no stakes. So if you're like really stressed out,
no competition.
Yeah, exactly. There's nothing. So like if you're really stressed out, or like you're just having a bad week, they're great shows to watch, to like just be like, this is fine, like life's okay. The other one, Hiyori's Bed and Breakfast, is another one like that for me. 3 meals a day. Like they're not competing for anything. They're just like,
or it's Dangerous Beyond the Blankets. Like
they're just existing. They're just existing as people doing things, and it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of just relaxing. Like,
yeah, definitely.
What's funny is when they were a chef helped them figure out their really small menu. They just do brunch crud. When they're making something, he just said, you're going to be sick of making these things by the end of this month. Like, you're never going to want to see any of like the jam or whatever you're making. And it takes 50 minutes for them to even make the jam. They have to stand there and stir it. So one of the guys was doing that, and he was like, yeah, I'm already tired of it. They're all really positive people, so like that's why it's pretty fun.
But in addition to all of those things that we watched, all 4 of us watched the first episode, and most of our Twitter list, I've noticed, watched the first episode of a new show that just started this week called The Crowned Clown. First off, when they talk about clowns, it's a Sageuk, so it's like, a historical, and when they talk about clowns, a lot less creepy than modern clowns.
I don't know, they're still kind of creepy.
They're still a little creepy. Like, those masks are kind of unsettling.
When he first came on, the first one, like he's got the mask and he's doing these like acrobatics and stuff. It's like, yeah, you're a little creepy there, clown.
But then he took it off, and you're like, oh, you're just a handsome little cutie. Never mind. But they're not, like modern day clowns. Okay, I'm not gonna say that I'm scared of clowns, because I'm not. I just don't really want them near me. You know what I mean? I just don't need them in my life.
Well, with it being Sageuk, like it's really more of a court jester.
Yeah.
Or I don't know. It's like a drama troupe. A comedic.
So it's like their purpose is like they can jokingly criticize politics without meaning it. Like they can criticize the king and technically be like, but I'm just a clown, so it doesn't count. But what they're saying is what everyone's thinking, which I always like that sort of role in a historical. Like they're the only people who are allowed to actually say what they're thinking.
Is that always their role? Like, in other Sageuks, is it typically kind of a political satire type situation, or is it ever like, yay, I do somersaults and I'm funny?
It's a little bit of both, but there's usually an element of the political commentary, because I think like in the society, their societal role was sort of, if you bring voice to like frustrations that people have in a comedic sort of way, it's easier to diffuse tensions from the populace, right? And so it's also a way for noble people to also know how the general public feels about them without forcing people to be honest, when that could get them in trouble with the nobles, as it were.
I think it does depend too on whether they're like in the beginning, they're a traveling drama troupe, so very much that's kind of their purpose. Often, I mean, they're traveling, so they're taking news, they're picking up the gossip and the story from this village and turning it into a funny story over at this village. It's a little different if it's like an actual court jester role, because you have to be more, obviously,
whatever the king wants
in what you say. Exactly, the king holds.
Well, and traditionally, like if we're talking about like Western court jesters, I'm not so familiar with Asian court jesters. they were the only ones who were allowed to openly criticize the monarchy, and that was their actual job, was to, because like, you know, criticizing a nobility or the monarchy could get you, you know, imprisoned or whatever for, you know, if you're speaking out against them. So that role was to speak what people actually thought without any repercussions, because he's dancing around foolhardily. And
but even Western wise, like, why would, if you were the king, why would you want one of those in your court? Like, wouldn't you want him not anywhere near you?
Because they tell the truth. So you can trust what they're saying without, because they don't have technically they're not supposed to have a political agenda. They're just supposed to entertain.
I can just foresee them getting in trouble and beheaded all the time.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Because
like, I'm not saying,
right, what kind of mood you're in, how, you know, what the king thought was funny last night. Today his wife is yelling at him for, so now it's not so funny. Like,
it's not a perfect system by any stretch of the imagination.
Why do you sign up for that job? I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, they used it to divert people away from the truth as well. So like people focus on the jester and like
and not on
what was actually going on. So it's kind of like a ruse. So to kind of like look at this person over here doing stuff, so you're not focusing in on all the other stuff too. And it was kind of a way to distract, and so that the king could also kind of tamper some of the things that were said.
But in this case, oh boy, there's so much, like, so the first episode of this show was an hour and a half long. That's pretty much a movie at this point.
Yes.
And I would rather them be shorter. I'm not going to lie. I liked it. But
I'm going to be honest. I did not notice the hour and a half passing until it had passed. I was very invested in what I was watching. And I think a lot of that has to do with Yeo Jin-gu, because he's just such a good actor who like just brings everything to the role. You can't tell that he's as young as he is, like, because
he's stretched out a bit. Like he's getting angles and stuff. He's you know, like the T list will say, he's becoming quite the little namja, like he's turning into a little man.
So he's losing his baby fat quite a bit. But
his face isn't round.
The first time I encountered him, I was telling you guys this earlier, was in Hawaii, A Monster Boy, where I was like, okay, why'd they hire this like 30-year-old to play a 15-year-old? Because his voice is so old. Like his voice is like
voice is deep.
Like anyway. Yeah. And then I looked up and he was actually like 15, and I was like, like, how is this kid with this voice this young? And so every time he shows up, I'm always like, oh, he's so good, and he's good in everything. Like I've never seen him in something where I'm like, wow, bad choice. Like he must have a good management team or something that picks good stuff for him, because all like Warriors of the Dawn was really good. Like everything he does is really good. So he's great. And having him play the dual roles he's just so excellent. And
he is really great.
And the duality between roles is so good.
And they needed someone that's strong.
That, you know, they were kind of montaging it back and forth, and the stuff is going on with the king and his younger brother and the stuff there. And then they're cutting back and forth between the two different stories. And you really see that contrast in the way then the clown treats his younger sister, like how he's carrying her because she's tired. He's making sure she gets the first bite of food, and he's always looking out for her. And then you've got the king who's like jealous of his little brother and like mean to him and really mean to him. Just really noticed, like it was well done. It wasn't like hit you over the head with it.
No, it was all very subtle.
Like, oh, okay, I see what you're telling me here.
And he's good at like the eye acting. You can see in the way that his eyes and eyebrows look like that. He's playing two different, like they seem like it is actually two different people.
Well, he's technically playing three people because he's playing the king when he's not in bouts of insanity too. Like there are like slight like differences between when like he goes crazy and he's just an arrogant king. Especially because he's so good at doing all those different things, and if you don't ever feel like there's effort involved in it, and it's just he's doing it, it's so great.
And who loved that Jang Hyuk cameo?
Oh yeah,
at the beginning.
I didn't realize until I saw somebody post on Twitter. I was like, How did I not even know? How did I?
Yeah, I didn't recognize him, but I'm not sure I've seen him in anything yet. I mean, I know of him and I've seen him around, but I haven't seen him in the show yet.
Oh, you will eventually. He gets around. He's one of those fun as you see actors who he's already done his military service, so we can just enjoy him forever.
I've been trying to figure out, and I really don't know for myself yet. I think I struggle with, I don't know if I find the king a sympathetic character or not. I go back and forth in my mind. I mostly don't. Of course, the first half of the first episode is nope. But then, I don't know, once in a while, it's not that I'm way on his side by any means. I feel bad sometimes.
Queen, in that scene with the queen, I felt a little bit bad for him because yes, he's being a jerk, but you can kind of see that maybe not, but in that first episode, it feels like he actually likes the queen, maybe even loves her. And the idea that she would willingly send another woman to him
breaks his heart.
It makes him angry.
And then they also really indicated that his entire family loved his younger brother more than him and sort of treated him like shit.
It kind of sounds like the younger brother was the legitimate brother, right? He was the illegitimate brother, and the younger brother, right? Dad married the younger brother's mom.
It seems like something like that.
Maybe I'm not really sure. They weren't super clear on that. Maybe, the first queen had died or something, and then he's the son of the second queen or whatever. But clearly there was some animosity. But you could also tell that he actually loved his father at the same time that he hated his father.
Yeah, I think that stems from his insanity. It's his mental health that is really what is the driving force to everything he does. And I think that's why I kind of feel him as a sympathetic character, just because he is doing things not because he's just arrogant. It's because there's something actually wrong
with him.
That he snaps and he's super paranoid about every single person.
It doesn't help that his main advisor is clearly not on his side.
Oh, no, they never are.
Well, none of them are. The only one on his side, I think, is the wife's dad.
Secretary guy.
Oh yeah, who brings in
he has the little beard.
Oh yeah. Even the people that you kind of think are on his side are okay, and then it's oh no, they're also trying to betray him. Okay. Yeah. Great.
He, of course, has his madness, but then as far as him being paranoid, I can't really blame him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally.
Assassins come in the middle of the night. Yeah.
Yeah, right? On one hand, maybe don't abuse your tiny little
staff.
Bits, but on the other hand, the night before, someone did try to murder him in his sleep, so I don't know.
I did like the queen, the queen character, not the mom queen character.
Yeah.
Good on her for keeping up with her morals. She is not gonna just cave to his desires or whatever just because he says so. She's nope. I wonder if that's even realistic. If that could have really ever happened back then.
Well, I suppose if he pressed the issue, she'd have had to give in, but he doesn't.
I guess that's one of the sympathetic things too, is the fact that he is respecting that boundary. He doesn't want to have somebody who doesn't want him. The guy that you had seen up until that moment, he was just drowning the concubine with, pouring stuff down her throat and stuff. Yeah. I was okay, here we go. We're going to have a rape scene and this is going to suck. And then, nope, he just was I guess they all, the country probably thinks that I'm the one rejecting you, but goes off sad. Okay, he's the king. Doesn't have to walk away.
But I've only watched the first episode. I haven't seen the second episode yet. So I'm sort of interested to see, why they're getting this double. What's the why?
Just to let him go out and be in public and be me in public, and then I don't have to worry about somebody trying to kill me because
they'll kill this guy.
They'll kill this guy instead of me, and I'll be able to find out who it is, or I'll be able to take a break. I could just take a freaking nap.
I think they're also trying to quell everyone else in the whole entire kingdom that he's insane, because once they find out that the king is actually insane, then that means there could be a rebellion. And I think that's what they're trying to do, is make it seem like he's adjusted, not insane, adjusted, and can do the job of a king and not have that rebellion happen,
which he clearly can't.
Yeah.
Okay, I would like to talk about that.
Okay,
don't give the stand-in permission to say yes to anything that's asked of him. That is not his fault. If he follows directions you told him to do.
Well, okay, we haven't seen that far yet.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sorry, you finished episode
I was
2.
vague.
But yeah, you could.
Yeah,
Well,
like,
okay, to be honest, like
obviously, giving him a job to do.
yeah, don't get mad that he does it.
Mad at him for doing it. Fair enough.
We've all seen a Sageuk, so we sort of can aware of thing. Like, it's not a huge mystery by any stretch of the imagination. But I was super impressed by how incredible. Everyone is on point with their acting. The acting over the top good, but the filming of it is gorgeous. It is so pretty.
It's dark, but it's not too dark. You know, like how sometimes you're watching something and all of a sudden you have to like, it's a night scene, so you have to like turn the brightness way up on your screen so you can see anything. But it's not like that. Like, it's dark. It's clearly dark. The colors are dark. Everything.
Yeah. The tone
and yet clear. I can see everything. It's not
beautiful.
just hey, let's turn down the light.
I'm actually surprised that this wasn't picked up by Netflix. Like, it has the sort of vibe of a TVN show that gets picked up by Netflix, but it
too. Maybe they spent all their money on Kingdom and Memories, so they're like, wait a minute, we can't do this.
Too far.
No, I also Kingdom coming out, so they can't have 2 Sageuks at once.
Yeah, they're like, no. I know it's based off of a movie. I would be interested to see how it relates to that movie, especially being a full series, and like what they pick out of this series for the movie, or like the movie only covers like mostly the first episode.
I didn't know it was related to a movie at all. When was the movie done?
Early. I couldn't find it anywhere, but I did see like a clip of it or a trailer for it on YouTube, and it seemed like it looked, when you looked at it, you're like, oh, that kind of looks like Crown.
It was made in 2012.
Masquerade.
Yeah. Otherwise known as The Man Who Became King.
Oh.
Anybody we know in it?
I didn't look that deeply into it.
There's like some recognizable faces.
The guy from Mr. Sunshine's in it.
Oh.
Lee Young-hun, isn't that?
So when it comes to dual role stuff, and as far as we know, and who knows the rest of the series, but as far as we know, it's not like a twin situation so far. Does it bother you that they're identical people and we have like no explanation of why?
No, the reason, and this is a personal tale, is that I have met my doppelganger and we look exactly alike. And we are not related, so no. Like there's one out there for everyone. There's a doppelganger.
At least one.
Yeah.
I felt like there are actors that look alike too.
I wouldn't be surprised if they pull a birth secret deal out of it.
Totally.
I mean, you got 16 episodes or 20 episodes or whatever it's going to be.
Illegitimate son of the king or whatever.
Yeah. Have we seen his parents? No.
Well, and a lot of cultures, especially when we're looking at a historical, a lot of cultures had hysteria around twins. They were the devil's children, or one of them was a demon, or, so I could very much have seen, if you're the queen or the concubine or whatever, and you give birth to twins, you don't want anybody to know that, because they're going to kill your babies and they're going to kill you.
Yeah.
So
why not shuffle off a baby to a...
Korea, but reading the thing here, it says his parents died during an epidemic and he almost died from starvation, but he was saved by a group of clowns. That could have easily been, that's the story they told him, but really they found him in the woods where he was left, to die of exposure. So, I could very easily see this.
Not like they had the internet. He couldn't look up microfiche. He's got to take his word for it.
No DNA test.
I don't know. Like, they're saying that this takes inspiration from The Prince and the Pauper, but I had a moment in the first episode watching it where I just thought, like, I'd really like to see it take more of, after like the movies Dave or Moon Over Parador, where that idea of the copy comes in and like fixes things, like
does a better job.
Common sense.
Like I like that. And then both of those have happy-ish endings.
Feeling like a sort of Man in the Iron Mask vibe from this one.
That's what I thought.
Which I'm guessing didn't end well. I didn't watch that.
It didn't end super great. But like, it didn't end badly. Listen, when I was like 16, I loved that movie. DiCaprio. What can I say? What can I say?
The first half of the first episode, I really felt like it was good. It just wasn't for me. Like I was dragging myself through it. And like halfway, I was like, do I have to watch the whole episode? By the end of the first episode, I thought, yeah, maybe I will watch the second episode.
For me, it was from the get-go. Like from those opening credits, I was like, oh, these are pretty. And then it was like, it just goes right into, Jang Hyuk like calling his son an asshole, and I'm like, please, oh god, give me more. So I really love Sageuk, which apparently a lot of people on our T list do not love a good Sageuk. I like the pretty outfit.
Are people not digging it? I haven't
noticed. No, it's not that people aren't digging. People are actually really digging this one. They just don't dig Sageuk's in general.
I see that.
I don't really. I think it's because it's just the same thing over and over. And like, I know we watch K-dramas. It happens. We see the same things over and over, but at least we get like a different location, or the person has a different job. But in Sageuk's, everybody has the same.
It's always the
things. Yeah, it's always king, and then like the person, his right hand man, is always the one that like is betraying him, and then you're always in the same place, and you're like, I know where they got that costume from because they're trying to like save money on it, and it's like it's tiring. Like, it's just like, come on.
Kind of like them. I don't know.
Think my problem for them is that they're always politics. It's never like a rom-com Sageuk. Not always. There are some that are not politics, but 99% of the time it's politics. And I don't like politics. I don't like modern politic K-dramas. I don't like modern politic Western dramas. It bores me. It's not my thing.
I do, which is, I guess, why I like it so much.
I haven't seen that many Sageuks yet. I think I've seen one complete one, and I won't even be able to pronounce it. It's the one that has Scandal in the name. Yeah. And that was darn cute. And then, of course, I'm nearly done with 100 Days My Prince.
Maybe I should watch that
too.
Sun Kyung-kwon Scandal, just as a brief interlude, is the first show or movie or anything that I've seen that made the act of untying a hat unbearably sexy. I was like, ooh, I need a moment. His hat
it didn't leave that much of an impression on me. I can't.
An impression on me. I was like, oh damn, he's untying the hat. Oh damn.
I'm open to a couple of other Sageuks, but yeah, in general, I'm not gonna go for I'll go for the rom-com-y ones and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't have a lot of time for others.
I mean, I've tried like was it last year, My Sassy Girl, and I was like, oh, this looks fun. Like, you get the costumes, but it's also going to be cute and stuff. And I just didn't like it. Like, I was just like, I'm bored and I don't like it.
I like Jose on Gunman quite a bit. I
keep wanting to watch that one.
It wasn't so much politics as it was a good old revenge, sort of like a Count of Monte Cristo type thing, where he comes back with a new identity and pulls off shenanigans, get back at those who wronged him. And also, Lee Joon-gi.
Yeah, that's pretty much all you have to say.
Yeah. He was really just built for historicals. Like,
he has like a historical, just everything.
So what else about The Crown Clown?
Who will be continuing on watching this show?
I think I will.
I will too.
As long as it keeps up being kind of different and not like a normal Sageuk.
I'm actually making my husband watch it after we finish recording tonight.
Do you think he'll dig it?
Oh, he'll dig it. He'll dig it. Like that sort of stuff.
I don't know. I'm not sure because I've got other things that I've picked up this week or that I want to pick up, and I'm seeing trailers for other stuff that's starting in the next couple of weeks that I want to watch. So I'm just like, I just don't know if I've got the time to fit it in and the like desire. But also maybe I'll wait and like when Last Empress is done, then I'll like binge a bunch. But like I've already got one Crazy Emperor in my life right now. So like maybe I'll just like let this Crazy Emperor sit on the shelf for a little bit. Let Sunrock be my Crazy Emperor for now. And then we'll move into the much younger, also cute, but much, much younger.
So little. But he doesn't look little. Like, he looks older than he is. I'll give him that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I had no idea. Like, when I saw him in Circle, that was the first time I ever saw him in anything. Yeah. And I had no idea. And then people are like, he's not even an adult. And I was like, what are you talking about?
He was like 18 when he made Circle or something?
Yeah. Like, he just turned 20 this year. And I'm like,
yeah.
What?
Oh, he's a baby.
He's a little baby.
And he's already that good.
I don't know if I'll keep with it. I mean, I'm really intrigued and stuff, but again, I'm behind with things. I need to finish a lot of stuff. And then there's a handful of new shows that I'm probably going to be into too. So like, I don't know if it's realistic that I'll be able to keep with it, considering the episodes are so long.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it wasn't torturous, but it was just like, oh, there's still a lot of the episode left, and I actually go do things.
Like, why
I
not
actually
make
get
a
really
20-episode drama and make them normal length episodes?
Yeah.
Like,
I actually really like that they're that long, because if I pause it to go pee, I'm like, oh, I still have all this left.
I, on the other hand, I'm getting used to 30-minute episodes. Like, My Strange Hero has 30-minute episodes, and they do really good the way they phase them in and out between. And yeah, they seem short, but I get to go do stuff in between for a second. I like those little breaks.
I like it too. I'm finding that I'm starting to really like the half-hour ones, because, like with Last Empress, trying to catch up, it's like you don't have to watch 2. You don't have to watch 3. You can watch like 3 halves and then walk away, because they don't put the big cliffhanger at the halfway mark. You're like, all right, I can go to bed. Like, I mean, I don't go to bed, but still, I could.
Theoretically, it's like, I could. I don't, but I could.
This week, along with my funk, I'm getting tired earlier, so I actually go to bed at a decent time, which is weird and not enjoyable. And I don't get stuff done when it comes to watching things, because usually that's kind of when I burn through a lot of my either binging or catching up. And now it's like, when I'm kind of out of it, it's hard to keep up with thinking about what's going on in a drama.
I believe Guy has prepared a small game for us to play.
Oh, yeah. The game is just picking who, or rather what role you would be if you were in a Sageuk drama. Okay. Or I guess
as Jessie pointed out, they're all the same. There's always that,
it's like archetypes, essentially.
Creepy, minister, or the horrible mother, or the the awful brother that's trying to kill you to take your place.
I would definitely be the girl who pretends to be a guy for some reason, like so that she can read books or
be a warrior.
Yeah, or something. That would be me, because like I don't really see myself in any of the other roles, to be honest. Maybe like one of those creepy dudes hanging out at the brothels. All the G-Sangs. But like not the ones that are like doing anything, just the ones who are there drinking with their buddies and having a good time.
And playing board games or whatever.
Like throwing money and just like drinking and being like, play another hop song. Oh, what a beautiful hat you have. Like, oh. I think I'm saying I would be a sugar daddy in the Sageuk world. Sort of a lazy nobleman's son with nothing better to do.
Lazy nobleman's daughter pretending to be a son.
Yeah. So I gotta be extra lecherous to like keep up the ruse.
I don't know. I think I'm probably the too nice to live wife, or mother, or grandmother, or whatever. Like the one who has lived through the favor of the previous king, who's dead now, and I'm too trusting, and I'm too nice, and I'm gonna die now that there's a new king who doesn't particularly like me. Or maybe the king really, really likes me. Maybe I'm the favorite wife or whatever. I'm gonna die because his, concubine is gonna kill me, or his mother doesn't like me, so she's gonna kill me. I'm gonna die. I'm not long for this world. Things that good.
I don't know what I would be. I might be like the one, like the right hand to the queen or the princess, who's like the kind of the most loyal best friend out of everyone that she kind of confines in. Or I could see myself, there's always that one person in the village who just knows everything about everything, and it's the only one that they like talk to, or you see like gossip about things. I might be that person. I just know what's going on in the palace, and I don't even work in the palace.
You know what's up.
Sounds about right.
Maybe I'm like the owner of the favorite like restaurant or bar, tavern or whatever, and that's how I know everything. Like all the
Or would you be running the brothel or whatever. Is that kind of the type of...
Oh, I guess, yeah, too. Yeah.
They always knew a
'Cause
lot.
that's always that. Yeah, okay.
Because drunken nobles talk a lot.
Yeah.
It seems like that's where all the stuff goes down.
Alcohol and girls, and
So
you've got, like,
you'd
secrets everywhere.
Adam.
Jessie knows that Nat's actually a girl.
And
Yeah, I'm the one who helps you.
So that's right.
Like, I'm like...
You're helping me
several,
keep my secret.
Yeah. I, like, see that something's gonna happen, and I'm, like, the one to, like, divert everybody. I'm like, oh, would you look over here? And you could pass by really fast.
I like it.
I really have no clue, but I'm going to guess that I would be the person that acts like someone in court who acts really arrogant and stuff, and in order to kind of keep with the pace of everybody else, but as far as to the people that they're close to, you're actually like a really good person, and you're kind of working for all the background good things, but in order to get things done.
Sort of like the magistrate dude in 100 Days My Prince.
Yeah, or in the Scandal one, the guy that dresses really, really well, and he acts like really arrogant and really extra and stuff, but then come to find out he's actually from a poor family.
But he was sneaky. He was just sneaky. Yeah, just finding stuff out.
I don't know what role that is. Kind of I guess each time they come from a poor background, but then they're like in court somehow magically.
Usually because they're smart. They passed exams and nonsense. The two ways to social climb.
And they kind of seem sketchy sometimes, but in the end they're working for the better good of everybody.
So you're saying that you're sketchy but with a heart of gold?
I'm not really sketchy, but I can, like,
it's
act.
Sketchy in the good way.
She knows that she needs to do stuff to get ahead so that she can be in the position to make change.
Nice.
Whatever role that is.
So Amanda, have you been working on any knitting projects recently?
I have been. Nothing particularly clown related. So I've been lazy knitting right now. I'm just knitting a scarf. I went looking for clown patterns because we're doing this and, clown, okay. And I mean, there's piles of crowns. I've knit a crown before for my daughter. Clowns, most of them are ugly. Most of them are ugly knitted clown dolls that are horrible. But in honor of our tiny baby becoming, this clown is like a teeny tiny baby. We have to keep reminding ourselves, teeny tiny baby.
So little.
I found this pattern called Teeny Clown, and there's this picture of it, and it's so tiny. It's by Anna Krachevek. I think she's the Mini Moki person. She makes all kinds of tiny, mini little things. It's the tiniest little knit. I don't know. I think I could knit it, but I'm not sure. Like, it's
you have to get those little tiny, like, lace needles.
It's like the size of this woman's, like, thumb, maybe 2 thumbnails. In the picture,
it's adorable.
But it's teeny tiny clown, because Yujingu is our tiny little clown. Not that he's actually tiny.
He's a regular sized.
He's a regular sized person.
But he's also he's just little.
He's a man that I could easily be the mother of. There is more than a legal adult between our ages. So I am more. Like, the difference between us is greater than his age. He is a tiny baby.
Fair enough.
Well, I was looking for a wine that could go with this episode. I first was trying to find some Joseon period wines, and then I got bored with that. But I did find a wine that I feel is, like, perfect for if you were watching this, kind of, like, set the mood. It's from Incognito Wines. It's the Danny Kaye, the Court Jester Petit Verdot. I have not tried it, but it sounds lovely, and it's a wine, so I'm probably going to like it if I tried it. I really haven't found many wines that I don't like, but I thought it was fun and, fit the whole Court Jester.
Has anyone watched that movie besides me?
Court Jester?
Yeah.
No, I haven't.
Is it good?
I don't know if I saw the whole thing, but he's silly in it. I mean, that's really...
Danny Kaye, like...
Yeah.
Yeah, Danny Kaye in a medieval-ish type setting. I mean, just wrap your mind around that. It's pretty silly.
Well, if you ever watch that movie, you could drink this wine with that too. So there's double feature wine.
In terms of fan fiction this week, there wasn't anything that I came across. I didn't do a lot of reading this week, fan fiction wise, mostly because I have been pretty much at death's door up until like today. As everyone in this chat that we're chatting with right now is aware of, I've been.
She was just sick. She was not truly at the hospital, everyone who was going to be concerned.
Oh, no. I had a really bad flu. I was just stuck in bed and just being like, poor me. But I'll regale you with a small tale concerning clowns. So if you're on Twitter, you've probably heard of Mama Jo. Mama Jo is my mother. She's now a T-list mom. She's constantly doing hilarious, bizarre things that she doesn't realize are either hilarious or bizarre. Back in college, she had 2 boyfriends. We'll call them D and K. We'll save their identities a secret. I don't want to spill it on my mom. So I knew of these 2 boyfriends that she was a bit of a player. Those were the only 2 boyfriends I had ever heard of. But occasionally, she would come up with these strange little like side tales, and I'd be like, Mom, what are you talking about? Like, what the? But I was helping her clean out her attic, and I found a box of papers. And in this box of papers, there were these beautiful, beautiful, suggestive love letters. Scandalous love letters. And I'm like, Mom, like, I think I found either D or K's love letters to you because they weren't signed. They're just like signed by like your love, like very dramatic. And I was like, Mom, like, ooh, which one was this from? She's like, oh no, that was from the clown. I was like, wait, so what now? She's like, oh yeah. She's like, I spent a summer like at a clown college, and one of the clowns like fell in love with me and wrote me all these letters and stuff. He toured with like Barnes and Bailey's, and I'm sitting here like, Mom, you dated a clown? Like,
and you
Mom,
don't have his letter.
Mom, tell me this isn't true. Mom. So she was very unashamed about how she had dated a clown, but I have not ceased to mock her for it. Why do you even keep the letters? Anyway, my mom was a bit of a...
Not so bad, but like, did you gloss right over the whole? You went to clown college, Mom? Like,
no, I was like, that was there too. I was like, wait a second.
She never told you?
No, all of these, like, I hear things all the time. Her life is basically a fan fiction. Like, told me she left clown college because she's not very good at performing, so I think that probably had to do with it. But she also was bad at, like, doing her makeup. So that was why
you can be bad at clown makeup?
Like, yeah. Apparently there's a skill, there's an art. So don't at us clowns. I'm saying there's an art to it's an art form that she does not possess. She can't even put on real makeup, like non-clown makeup. It's fine.
So Sky, do you have is there Sageuk music out in the world?
I did look. I looked for, of course, there are music videos for like OSTs for Sageuk dramas, but I wasn't going to go there. Someone made I thought it was kind of entertaining, K-pop dating game video, a Sageuk version.
Oh.
I didn't play it entirely. It's around 12 minutes long, but I think if you have a piece of paper, shows you pictures, and then you pick which picture you like the most, and then you kind of write down letters and numbers and stuff. And then at the end, it'll say what role in court you played, what Sageuk drama character you end up with, and all this stuff. I thought it was pretty well done. I'll end up sharing that link with everybody.
That's cool.
Thank you.
And there's always like K-pop videos too, guys wearing their hangbox or whatever, right? That's always a nice.
You know what I like about history and about cultures? Like, I always see these little things that like tie everyone's cultures together, and like they don't, you don't really realize it until someone points out. I'm going to point this out to you. All cultures have a history of funny hats. Apparently, funny hats are like a universal human connection, is that we think funny hats mean important. I'm into that. Well, this has been another rousing edition of the Certified Nunas. So you can find us wherever you're listening to us right now. I assume if you're already listening, I don't need to tell you where to find us. But we're also on Twitter and Instagram and YouTube. Good times on YouTube. Unless you're listening there, then you already know. Also, as a little to clear your dates, details are forthcoming for this, but we will be having a live watch of Train to Busan on Tuesday, the 29th of January. And we want everyone who's available to come and join us and chat and watch and have a good time. Without further ado, this was us. Have a great night.